G'day and welcome to another edition of Shooting the Breeze, and today we're out at Heifer Station Winery. We're going to be talking to Phil Stivens. He and his wife Michelle have done an amazing job out here, so come on, let's go inside and have a chat to Phil, listen to his story. Where's the farm at?
Park.
Oh yeah.
I was originally born and bred down near Griffith.
Yeah, okay.
Luton, Barella, down that way. Yeah. And then did 4 or 5 years at Armagard for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And then back here, onto here. So, yeah.
Did you ever think you'd be a vigneron?
No. Well, I sold the real estate businesses and then I tried retiring and got bored as batshit with that. And then went to work for Armagard, and then we bought this and stayed on there for a couple of years while we were getting this organised, and then left there to come here. So it never worked so hard.
Never worked so hard in your life.
Yeah.
Tell us about this shed.
Well,
It's got an interesting history.
It's 100 years old now.
Yeah.
It used to be a 3-stand. The shearing plants used to be there. It had the biggest catching pen in Australia. That was the catching pen area there. So yeah, no, it was for a long time. It was a contract shed as well.
Yep.
You know, all the neighbours used it and that sort of thing. But no, she's been here 100 years, and it's some of the
It's got some character.
Some of the bigger timbers came out of the Heifer Station Hotel.
Yeah, right.
Which was just down the way.
Yep.
So yeah, that Heifer Station came because Heifer Station as such, it wasn't a station like Queensland or whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was a change station.
Yeah, right.
Where they changed the horses and let you out for a rest and a cup of tea.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's where it came from. And this was originally part of their resting paddock and breeding paddock and all that sort of thing. So yeah, but
and all the work outside that you've done and the marquee.
Well, the teepees, because we're doing renovating the barrel shed, making it into a function facility because of COVID, and we controlled on numbers in here. We thought, well, if we put that up, we can double our numbers in here, which we ordinarily would have had over there. So it's worked really well. We've got people asking if they can get married in the teepee and this and that. They love it. Yeah, it's really nice and casual, and it's easy, and there's no drama associated except on these cold weekends. But anyway,
I saw you had the chooks running around out there in the teepee as well.
Chooks are going crazy.
Guinea fowl.
Guinea fowl.
You've got a menagerie here.
Yes, there is a bit of a menagerie, but anyway.
What impact, you touched on it briefly then, but what impact has COVID had, obviously, with your business here in terms of not only just the restrictions of people coming in, but...
Well, yeah, obviously the numbers.
Yeah.
We've had to institute quite a few things, in our booking of visitors has been a major one, which we won't go away from now. We will stay with that.
Yeah.
But the big, the control on numbers and the size of parties is probably, we're getting 2 or 3 requests a week. Can I have a 30th? It's going to be 25 people. No, you can only have 10.
Yeah, right.
Unless it's a wedding, a funeral, or something else, it's only 10 maximum party. Oh, well, we can book 10 on this table and 10 on that table. No, you can't do that. It is 10 people and that's it. So yeah, that's created a few issues around that. But most 90% of people go along with I understand. No harm in me asking. But probably the biggest effect is the extra staffing costs, because we have to have a COVID marshal and we have to have extra people, because when we turn the tables over on the hour or so, we have to get the COVID killer out and spray it and do the chairs and do this and that and all those sorts of things. So it's meaning that we do have extra staff in that way, but holy hell, it beats being closed, I can tell you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And since the regional lockdown was, those restrictions were lifted, I suppose, I think back in June, like you said, business, you've noticed an increase of people coming in, cellar door, wine tasting.
Sydney has been amazing.
Yeah.
Really and truly, and you know, at least 80%, probably near 90% of people from Sydney
Yep.
coming out here, and you know, the amount of people, especially midweek,
Yep.
of older folk saying, well, normally we're in France or we're in Germany or we're here or Italy or whatever, but we can't go there anymore. So we're going regional.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to sit at home.
Yeah.
And how long's Orange been like this?
Yeah. So that's the feedback you're hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the great part about all that is they're going to go home and tell their mates, you got to go to Orange. And so we've got a whole thing of people coming out here that have never been out here before.
That's terrific, isn't it?
And they're so generous. They've spent well.
Yeah.
They're starting to get a little bit scratchy at the minute, but because it has been a pretty long, you know, we find the odd person or two that, you know, rah, 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 and you. Whereas in the early days of when we opened back up, everyone, you know, look, we need you to do this. Oh yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Whereas now it's, oh really? So yeah, people are starting to struggle a little bit, but in the overall picture of things, they are fantastic. They really are.
Yeah.
Holy heck, I wouldn't like to be in Sydney going to work on the bus every day, having to wear a mask and do this and do that, and you know, yeah, we're so lucky. We're blessed in Orange. We really are.
No, we have been.
Hasn't really affected our lives too much.
No, we are lucky, and by and large, everyone's been doing the right thing, which is good. You know,
it is. Yeah.
People have, you know, may not like it, but they understand they got to do it, and hopefully it's not forever. It's just to get through this period. But
I had. He calls himself a mate. He rang me one day and said, "You're the oldest bloke I know, Stivo. What happened at the Spanish flu? Was it like this?"
Not that old.
yeah. I go, I know I may look that old, but yeah, thanks a lot. But yeah, so we're all in new territory, and everyone's struggling, and but like I say,
better than the alternative.
Better than the alternative, and
you had the day on the green earlier this year. Seems like a long time ago now.
It does, doesn't it? Seems
Back
like
in
a
February,
lifetime ago.
Cold Chisel were out here, and you had, I don't know how many thousands of people out here, but tell us about that, how that went, and the planning behind it, and the stress it must have been, you know, just not knowing how it was going to go. And
yeah, look, the guys from the day on the green were the most professional mob I've ever run into. They knew exactly what was going on, but mind you, that ours was the 5th show that week.
Yeah.
Not with Cold Chisel, but you know, they had 2 or 3 in Victoria, and they had South Australia and another one in Western Australia or something. So they really know what they're doing, and they were brilliant. And I don't know, we had 10,000 people plus out here, and you know, the amount of people, will you remember, it was the hottest goddamn day.
It was a hot day.
Hottest day.
Hot and dusty too, wasn't it? It was the middle of the drought.
Day in the dust, everyone.
Day in the dust.
Yeah, I had people telling me in town, we sat out in our backyard and listened to the music. Well, yeah, Jimmy was fairly into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was brilliant, and yeah, you know, it was great for the region.
Yeah, it was. It was
It was brilliant for the region.
Yeah.
Everything was full in town. Every coffee shop had their best day ever in their life. Every cellar door had their best day in their life. The motels, everyone, they were nearly put in laundries.
Yeah.
They were that short of beds.
Yeah, no, it was great for the town.
It was.
Do you know how much was injected into the town of Orange that
don't.
weekend?
I don't, but we're talking millions.
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 Yeah, millions.
Yeah, millions. I don't.
Yeah.
There's probably somebody who could tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's.
But yeah, it was And the sad part is, mid-October, there was one booked, and there was another booked early November. Well, they've gone by the wayside. It's just the way it is. There is another one booked for early March.
Yep.
So we're hoping.
Yep.
That maybe,
Yeah. Well, hopefully by then.
Hoping it's, But I think Destination New South Wales is trying, because one of the, we say, poor old cellar doors, but how would you like to be an artist?
Yeah.
A singer or something at the moment.
Well, they can't perform.
They can't.
Well, not to crowds.
Yeah, they can't. So I think the Destination New South Wales is trying to come up with a pilot program of small concerts.
Yep.
And I think the latest was Michelle looks after that side of it, so because she's the brains amongst us. And I think we're on a short list. Whether we get to the end list or not, we've had terrific support from the Day on the Green people around it. So whether they're involved or what, I don't know. But hopefully there may be some sort of mini concert sometime.
You and Michelle, obviously, back in 2009, when you took on this property and this project, I suppose, you look back now, it was a pretty gutsy move going, taking on a big project, but then going into the wine business without really having a background in it.
No, well, we were buying a cattle place as far as I was concerned, because the vines were going to go.
So what made you change your mind? Instead of going cattle,
I'd be wandering down Summer Street, and a guy would walk up to me who I didn't know, and shake my hand. Congratulations, great purchase. Do you know how good that place is? It's a fantastic vineyard. And I go, huh? And after this happened about half a dozen times, I'd come home and say to Michelle, I'm not going into town again. I'm keeping out of the place. And
so it was owned by offshore owners before you had it?
Yes.
And they let it basically...
Chinese gentlemen, they threw a chain around the gate physically and left.
Yeah. So it'd fallen into...
Well, it hadn't been pruned for 5 years. The vines were 10 foot high and the blackberries were 12, and it was a heck of a mess. But anyway, resilient vines as they are. So it was 2009 and the first vintage was 2012, be it a light one. But we were going to get the dozer in here, drop the blade in the ground and push all the rows out. But anyway, they talked us around and away we went.
Embarked on this journey, and now look at it. You've got award-winning wines. You've won, medals, and
we've been pretty lucky. We've been pretty lucky.
But the old saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Oh yeah, maybe. But Michelle's sort of, she's brilliant on. She's got a terrific eye of decorating and bright ideas, and I'm just, I was nearly going to say muscle, but there's not much of that anymore. But no, she,
You're the brawn.
It's only half brawn now. But no, and she's terrific with that, and she does all the decorating and the ideas and applications for this, that, and the other, and and it's been, and look, we complement each other pretty well. In that way. So I don't do much decorating. I suggest a couple of things now and again, just to let her know that I've still got a pulse. And
you still got some input. So you've got your list there on the wall behind us there of your wine list. Have you got a personal favourite? This one?
This one, actually.
It is nice.
It's Pinot Noir.
Very smooth.
I love it. Orange, cool climate wines. Long before I moved to orange, I moved to orange in 2000. I loved cool climate wine, and Pinot Noir has been a favourite. But this, and I probably shouldn't say it, but it's I love it. It's got great character and great depth to it, and our winemakers, Dan and Nadia, they do a fantastic job. But it's a brute of a thing to grow. because it's very thin-skinned, so that means that it's very subject to disease. And we haven't had much problem with that in the last 3 or 4 years.
It's been fairly dry.
It's so dry. But it's got great flavour and great character. Orange, hell, we're only 40 years old as far as the region's concerned. You go to France and those sorts of places, and here's the line up the road, and if you try and grow the wrong variety on that side of the road, they take you out and shoot you because you're crazy, because they've been growing it there for 600 years.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I think Orange is still trying to work out what it's best at. We do grow make some incredible wines. Probably Chardonnay and Shiraz is probably Orange has been best known for.
Yep.
But the Pinot Noir's going pretty well, and the Merlots, we're putting some really nice Merlots out as well. But the thing about cool climate wines is the softness. Like Penfolds, for instance, which is the flagship of Australian wines, they don't release it until it's 10 years old and then suggest you cellar it for 10 years before you drink it. Whereas cool climate, you can do it. There's a lot of 18 and 19 vintages getting around in Orange now, so you can drink it a lot earlier because it doesn't have the heavy tannins. South Australians don't like it much because it doesn't have the boldness, which they're used to.
Okay.
But it's. I knew nothing about wine.
You become an expert in 10
well,
years.
no, I'm a long way.
Your knowledge is certainly. It has to, but
there wasn't much to start with, so the little bit I got now is probably dangerous. But it's. I'm like 99% of most other, or 90% of people. I like what I drink. That makes it a good wine. If I don't like it, I think, it's not a bad wine, but it's not. I don't like it.
Well, you must be doing something right. You've won some medals.
Well, yeah. Our winemakers keep saying to us, "You give us good fruit, and we'll give you good wine." We've given them good fruit, and they've given us good wine. So, and that's it's luck of the draw a lot of times, but
You mentioned your winemakers. Have you got other staff out working here? But how about for picking and stuff like that? I reckon obviously this year's got to be a bit with all the COVID stuff. And I'm not sure where you pick us from, or
we have a local contractor that we get our fruit picked, hand picked, for our particular varieties. And that up to date. That hasn't been an issue, but this year, as you say, there was no picking last year, and if those people are relying on, obviously relying on, excuse me, sorry, man,
no, you're right.
I haven't got COVID.
No, I believe
you. Their employment is sort of all over the place, and the issue is that, maybe they'll go and find permanent jobs elsewhere. So we're not quite as bad as, say, the Riverland, where the oranges you can only pick by hand. We can machine harvest all our fruit. We spend extra on hand picking because it's softer on the fruit and that sort of thing for our particular wines. But we can machine harvest if we have to. We do have an alternative if we're stuck. But and look, I appreciate the guys down on the border. They're in a terrible spot at the moment, trying to get people.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it would be tough. What other challenges do you have running a vineyard? Obviously, you mentioned with the drought, fungus or disease when it's too wet.
When it's too wet.
What other challenges do you face?
In previous years, there's been a glut of fruit. When we first came in, our fruit prices are probably double now to what they were 10 years ago. But 10 years prior to that, you'd get a heap of money for anything. Even a gum nut looked like a grape. You got money for it. But now, a lot of that, because of so much loss of fruit in 2020, all that backlog's been used, and now it's going to be really and truly whatever's around. So yeah, that's one of the challenges is obviously price of our fruit. It doesn't affect us so much. We don't export because we're small and we want to stay that way. But the bigger players, this China thing is creating a few issues for them. But yeah, it depends on what level you are, as obviously how that affects you. But yeah, it's the usual thing of time on your hands. Everything happens at once. You know, we can get sunburn. Hot, dry winds bring in things early, you know, poor flowering, you know, the
Smoke taint,
you know, the usual things that farmers whinge and whine about. You know, it's never right. It should be something else. But yeah, look, yeah, it's a very fragile product.
Yeah, very delicate.
Delicate is the right word. And when it's ready to pick, it's got to be picked.
Yeah. Tell us about your bull paddock.
Well, this one
and the labelling. But tell us firstly about your bull paddock.
Well, this one is something that we decided that we'd make a special one.
Yeah.
We hand pick all this fruit and we use a lot of quite expensive French oak on it.
Yeah.
It's something we've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now. And yeah, this year we've done a home paddock, which is our Shiraz, which is an ultra premium one as well, and I guess you'd describe this one as well. And down the track we probably look at doing a Pinot Noir.
Yep.
And that's probably the 3 that we do as an ultra premium. The back of it is an Aboriginal art painting done by a local artist.
You change it every year.
So we change the back label, every year. We had a local artist last year who painted our Highland cattle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something we just fool around with.
Yeah.
But it's something a little bit different. Yeah. So it's I don't know. It's just something
different.
Something
but it's
different.
good you got that sort of that localism sort of branding on the back as well, and you know it's obviously trying to, I suppose, that elite or higher product, or like you said, it's hand picked and it's your premium sort of range, I guess.
Yes, and that's what we're trying to achieve. As I say, we're not huge producers. We're certainly, our aim is quality rather than quantity. And that starts with pruning, that we prune a particular way to limit the amount we grow. It's as though the vines only have X amount of love to go around, and if you hang a lot of fruit off it, you end up with wishy-washy style juice and wine. Whereas if you cut it back, it tends to concentrate the flavours and all those sorts of things.
What's your most popular wine that you sell?
Yeah, it probably varies from summer to winter because a lot of people drink reds more in the winter time. Look, our 18 Shiraz, our hand-picked, our Merlot and our Pinot Noir, they're probably running pretty neck and neck at the moment. And probably the whites is our Chardonnay. So yeah, it's depending a lot on coming into times like Christmas. Our champagne, well, we can't. Sorry, my apologies. Bleep. Is sparkling. Is probably more popular then. We call it Janice. People say to me, I haven't heard a grape called Janice. And I go, no, you wouldn't have, because it's a French word meaning female cow.
Ah, okay.
To go in line with heifer.
Yep.
So we've called it Janice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Something different.
Something different.
Something different.
My good wife, she's out there. Yeah.
No worries. Well, Phil, thanks for chatting.
That's
And
fine, man.
you're out here on the Escort Way. If anyone wants to come and do some wine tasting, buy some of the local produce here, fantastic local wines. Come out to Escort Way out here at Boronor and Heifer Station. You can't miss the white ute.
Yeah, the white
The
ute,
vintage
the little
white
Murray.
ute
Yeah, mate.
at the entrance. And
Thanks for coming out.
good luck with everything.
Yeah.
I know it's been tough the last, with the
Oh,
drought and the bushfires and COVID, but you seem to be going really well. There's plenty of people here today, which is a midweek day, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's good to hear you've been really busy. So
But anyway, thank you for coming out and showing interest. And
no, that's okay.
you're one hell of a local member, man.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah. You can slip me the money later. But no, in all sincerity, it's no wonder last time was a landslide for you.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, and look, this is about showcasing, local businesses in our region and people who've got a really good story to tell and who've been successful, and hopefully there's some messages out there for other people that who might be interested in business or just in life too. Just learning skills to motivational work ethic, all those things. So well done to you and Michelle. I know it's been
Thanks, Phil.
a lot of work, but
Yeah.
you've done a great job, and it's a testimony to both of you to see it the way it is today.
Yeah.
It's tremendous. So well done.
Thanks, man.
No
Good on
worries.
you. Thanks,
Thank
Phil.
you.